Morning, beloved. Today we see a couple things. One is that Jesus is forming a family around those centered on and united on obedience to his word. So obedience is always the way to God's heart, you know. If you want to get to a man's heart, you go through the stomach, right? But to get to God's heart, you got to go through obedience. You have to begin living, applying his commands, the lifestyle of Jesus Christ to your lifestyle. And that's how we enter into God's family. So formally we teach that we are born again into the family of God through baptism. But again, remember, the only reason baptism does that for us is because God said it, right? And Jesus said, go and make disciples, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And so that's what initiates us into the family of God, obedience to that command and of baptism in our life. Jesus could have said again, jump around in circles on your left foot 3 times, and then that's what initiated you into the family of God. It's obedience to whatever God says begins to unite us with him and put us in his family. And the opposite is true too. Jesus teaches this in different ways in the Gospels, that disobedience puts us in a different family, right? How in different times he said to the Pharisees or the scribes or Sadducees, you guys are not, Abraham is not your father, or God is not your father. Your father is the devil, because you guys are liars. And the devil is the father of liars. And so you see, disobedience to God's will puts us in a different family, actually. And, it's crazy to think about. The devil could be your father. Yeah. And again, just on the spiritual level too, or even we see it in the physical level too, but obedience, whoever we obey is whoever we are serving, Whoever we obey is whoever we are serving. So if we obey God, we're serving God, and God is our master. And God, as our master, always fights for our freedom. We're actually more free and more human with God as our master when we serve him. But when we are disobedient to God's will, to God's commands, and his way of life, then we have a different master. When we're disobedient, we're actually obeying the devil or obeying a demon. And that makes us a servant of the devil or a servant of a demon. And that means, and to serve the devil as our master, he enslaves us and dehumanizes us and beats us down more and more and more every day till we're hooked and we're enslaved, and so we can't get out. The devil takes away our freedom of will. Those who are possessed by the devil have a very difficult time saying, Jesus is Lord, or I want God. They lose their willpower the more they serve the devil. And it all centers on obedience. Who am I obeying? Am I obeying God, or am I obeying the devil? To disobey God is to put us in the camp or in the kingdom of the devil. So this is very important. We want to be in the family of God. This is why, again, tapping onto yesterday, those who say, I'm Catholic, but I don't believe this, or I don't believe that. I'm Catholic, but I think it's okay to be pro-choice or whatever. They got to be careful for the salvation of their soul, because disobedience to God puts you in a different family. I'm Catholic, but means you're not Catholic. It means you're obeying somebody else because you're disobeying God. And so this is very serious. Our obedience or lack of obedience has eternal consequences in our life.